Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome, good afternoon, and welcome to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olson, the Tolkien Professor, and I am with you. Oh, hang on. I see I'm getting feedback from my own sound. Okay, there we go. That's right, because I was listening to Cordovan before I started. Okay, all right. Gryfflet is back, and he is enjoying the view over this this lovely lake here, up here by Tal Methedras. Though he's decided that, to be bluntly honest, you know, the architecture around here is just unattractive. Like, I'm sorry, those towers are ugly. I mean, they're just ugly. And it's especially noticeable. You know, I mean, you look at it from the side, right? And, like, it's just, it's hard. You know, it's hard to think. It's interesting because Llanwg does not look ugly, right? The overall effect of Llanwg is not, I mean, even though much of the architectural style is the same up there in Enidwaith, or even in Galtrev, of course, but neither one is really just kind of, but like this is just not an attractive city, and it's especially noticeable when you're, you know, when you're up here. And, you know, so you're coming down, right? So I'm going to turn around here, right? So I'm here. I'm like, he was like looking for a nice view, right? I was looking for a nice view. And whenever you get the city in the foreground, you know, and the lake in the background, the contrast is just like, okay, yeah, this is beautiful, except for this big honking, quite ugly tower in the front. You know, I just don't really know. And also, Gryfflet is beginning to have his doubts about the Falcon clan, I have to tell you. You know why Gryfflet is starting to have his doubts about the Falcon clan? I mean, there was the rock throwing incident, and that was embarrassing, but let's be honest, right? That could happen to anybody. I mean, you know, there are a few bad eggs in every batch, right? So, like, that's, you know, whatever. We're not going to judge everybody by that. It's Wynfor over here. Wynfor was making Gryfflet distinctly uneasy because as Gryfflet came down to look at the view, right, as he thought a view of the lake would be really quite nice during his time off this past week, he was wanting to stand next to Wynfor and look at the view, except, of course, he noticed that, like, this is the view. So Wynfor, here's this guy standing next to a scenic outlook, right? And where does he position himself? Right, like, in the, so that he's staring at the inside of a branch and he cannot even see the beauty of the land around him. He's like chosen an obstructed view seat, right, when there's every other possible opportunity for him to see the landscape around. So and Gryfflet is just kind of thinking that's not, there's something disquieting about that, you know, like this, it could just be, again, like, you know, bad eggs, right? It could, you know, he just could be sort of questionable or perhaps not very bright, but still, it's just, you know, it's enough to make him a little bit uneasy. Oh, hi, guy, Mr. Spearman dude. Thank you for saying hello. That was kind. Okay, so we are we're here in Tal Methedras so the Rangers are trying to get the assistance of the Falcon clan. Now, I have to admit that, sort of backing up for a second to the bigger picture of our storyline here, one has to admit that the Rangers have a rather peculiar way of making haste through a region, right? I mean, so like they say they're in a hurry on the one hand, but on the other hand, we keep making not just little stops, right, but quite long stops. And I get it, like I can get behind it, right, to say, because we're moving through Dunland, and we know that Dunland is, you know, the whole drama of Dunland as it's unfolding around us as we go down are the ways in which Sauron is making inroads, of course, with some, such as the highly morally questionable Dragon Clan. He is already sort of well in command and has very thoroughly recruited them to his side. But anyway, with the rest of with some of the other clans, he is attempting to conquer them. With others, he is attempting to persuade them. And so, we know that the Dunlendings are in fact going to serve as a major element, not the primary element, but a major element in Saruman's armies. We know that he's recruiting and needs to be recruiting. And it's one of the things that I find really interesting from the beginning, or near the beginning anyway, of the whole Lotro plot line, the whole Lotro story. Is the influence that they give Saruman, sort of up and down this whole side of Eriador. I mean, if I could just for a second go to the map for a visual aid here. Yeah, no, I want to go even further. Or do I? Sure, yeah. One of the things that it's easy to think in the book, one mistake that it's easy to make, is basically to view Saruman's rivalry of Sauron as sort of ultimately ludicrous, right? And Gandalf does say some kind of insulting things about it, right? That just suggesting that Saruman in the end is being kind of delusional in thinking that he can defeat Sauron, though he does also say on a couple of occasions things that suggest that if Saruman did in fact succeed in obtaining the One Ring, if he were to find it and have found it and secured it, then he probably could actually overthrow Sauron at that point. Without the ring, he has no hope of victory, Gandalf says. And yet Gandalf also emphasizes how even counted only as a captain, Saruman has grown very strong. That is not even considering his wizardry, his own personal power. The armies that he has amassed are very, very considerable. So, and again, we also need to not forget about what a remarkable upset Helm's Deep was, right? This is not just because, of course, again, the fact that the army of Saruman at Helm's Deep is essentially defeated by Rohan, right? Or at least that's one way that you can kind of look at it, right? To say, like, okay, Saruman's whole army came up against the armies of Rohan and Rohan won, whereas Sauron's armies, right, from Mordor are, you got like Rohan was only one part of that army, with all of Gondor and their people up from the south and everything, and one part of one army was barely beaten, right, at the Battle of Pelennor Field. Not to mention Sauron's other armies, which were, up in Rovanion and in Lothlorien and all kinds of places, right? So it seems it's easy to come to the conclusion that Saruman just has like no chance at all, right? That it's just kind of completely one-sided, and that he's utterly delusional in trying to set himself up as an opponent, as a rival of Sauron. But I think that is. It's still true. Gandalf says that he can't beat him, but it would have been a better fight, I think, than it is easy to think. First of all, of course, the army of Saruman is not defeated by Rohan. Rohan would never have defeated Saruman's army. The help with which they defeated the army were the Ents, right? It was only when the orcs broke and fled into the trees and were destroyed by the trees, they would not have won. The people of Rohan would not have beaten the army on the open field, right? The valor of the defense was wonderful, and the final charge of Theoden had this catastrophic effect in pushing them to retreat, the armies to retreat. But had the Ents not been there, the Huorns not been there, they would have retreated and then come back and smashed them, because they still would have outnumbered them. Even those that were left at the end of the Battle of Helm's Deep, there's every reason to think, would have significantly outnumbered the Rohirrim at that point. Except for the fact that they all get destroyed by the trees, right? They all get slaughtered by the forest. So that's kind of a big deal, right? Anyway, as I say, I really like the fact that they show. I mean, think about all the way through the game. Think of all the areas up here in Eriador. So anyway, the reason I want to look at the big map here for a second, if we look at it, you can see how much sense this makes, right? So here, in the Gap of Rohan, which is, of course, not to scale here on the big map, which is fine. Isengard is down here at the bottom of the Misty Mountains, right above the Gap of Rohan. And this would be, I suppose, the Isen flowing out through the gap here. And so you can see how basically, Sauron has Mordor and Hrun and Khand, all of that, like, he draws his armies primarily from the south and from the east. And so Mordor is just kind of the focal point from which he's hoping to move his armies up into Gondor and then up around into Rovanian and stuff. So you have this whole frontier on that side of the map, right, which is essentially dominated by Sauron and from which he draws his armies. And so you can kind of see, I really like how the Lotro story emphasizes the counter strategy of Saruman, right? He is going to try to dominate Eriador, right? And sort of to take over Eriador, and so that he has Eriador to draw on to try to oppose Sauron. Now, as we can see, it's still not even, right? I mean, on the one hand, it's just less area and there are fewer people, so he's not going to be able to equal Sauron in armies, even if he succeeded in basically kind of running Eriador. But of course, the other problem is that it's a lot harder to run Eriador, right? Because there's a lot more resistance there. There's still, all the elves that are still in Middle Earth pretty much are still pretty much there, and you've got, and there's you got other problems, right? So there's he's not made anything like the progress that he wants to make. But again, I really like the fact that we get those camps of half-orcs, right? Those all of those emissaries of the White Hand that are infiltrating even up into Breeland, which of course is happening in the book, right? That's what those refugees are coming up the Greenway are about, right? Some of them are just genuine refugees who have been displaced by the troubles in the south, troubles caused in large part by Saruman. But some of them are also spies and emissaries of his that are coming up and causing trouble, and so that some of the stuff that goes on with the brigands, I know with the brigands are also connected to the Angmar plot in the Lotro story. But anyway, I think that it's really interesting the way that they have put it, and in some ways it's a little bit surprising. At least I know I was sort of initially a little bit surprised to see the White Hand presence, not only down in Dunland and in Enidwaith, but all the way up into Eregion and beyond, right into Bree and elsewhere. But the more I thought about it, the more I really came to like it in the Lonelands. Remember in the Lonelands, we got these half-orc camps in the Lonelands. Anyway, as I say, the more I've sort of reflected on it, and the more I've come to really see the big picture, the more I've really appreciated the work that they've done here. So, all of that is a preamble to my saying about the Falcon clan here and about the journey of the Grey Company here. And again, you'd think if the whole point was just a relatively small group of people trying to go in a comparatively stealthy fashion down until they get to the Gap of Rohan, they're going about it very peculiarly, right? Not only are they making lots of stops, but they're going out of their way practically to interact with people. Sometimes there's this sense in the storyline of like we have to obtain safe passage, right? Which it seems to me that, especially given the fact that the Rangers seem to travel scattered, it's not even like they're riding in a single company as they're coming down through. So like a, sort of a scattered group of, woodcrafty folk, you'd think would be able to infiltrate their way through the area, minding their own business and not causing any trouble and escaping most notice, right? So that you wouldn't have to actually sue for, to like appeal to local leaders and stuff for official sanction to come through. But more than that, but they're obviously doing more than that. I mean, right here, Halbered and Sauron and our approach here to the Falcon clan is clearly not primarily targeted on expediency, on just speeding our path down through the Gap of Rohan in order to try to join Aragorn. There's clearly a desire, a goal, to do as much good for the war effort as we can along the way down, and knowing that as we get further and further south, we are coming closer and closer to Saruman's center of power, it makes a certain amount of sense that we see the Grey Company more and more and more active in trying to come to the aid of those who are resisting him, and to try at least to sort of unsettle things. I like that storyline as a whole, but as I say, there are some times when it seems to kind of push. They'll still talk sometimes if it's just they're in a frightful hurry, which I always comes off a little bit strange, I think. Yeah. Zach, I absolutely agree. Even if Rohan had managed a victory without the Huorns, they couldn't take Isengard itself. There was no way. There was no way. Yes. Yeah. I mean, they were barely gonna survive the first, when they were defending the strongest fortress in the Mark, right? They were in the most advantageous defensive position that is available to them in Helm's Deep. And they were barely able to withstand the first attack there, right? There's so again, even assuming they had managed ultimately after the victory, again, if we imagine a Huornless victory, right? Even if they had King Theoden rides out of the tower and drives the enemy before him and they run away, right? They're going to regroup and they're going to be able to attack. But even assuming that regrouped army is still able to be defeated in the plain by Theoden and whatever reinforcements he can get, then, as Zach points out, there's still Isengard, right? And what exactly was going to be their plan with Isengard? So yeah, I think that certainly is well worth remembering. Anyway, all right. Enough talking about what the Grey Company is up to and what the sort of the bigger strategic picture is. Let's get to it. Who is this? Penrod. Yeah. So, what important tasks do you have for me?
The Falcon cannot stand alone.
Even the Falcon can't stand against Saruman alone. Absolutely.
If it took only courage to win battles against wizards, this would be done already.
Okay, because you guys are super courageous. Got it. Okay. Tur Morva must be made ready. All right. Oh, we're preparing leather. Great. Yes. Armor. Okay. Meyer trains youthful fighters. Gathering foodstuffs. Okay. All right. I will help out. Complete the preparations in Tur Morva. Oh man, I got 10 folks to help, huh? That's a lot of helping. All right. Very good. All right.
Are there any fighting techniques in the north worth knowing? I think not.
Yeah? All right, come down here on my level and say that again. Okay, the Hebog Luth. Right, many clans have joined. The Hebog. Hebogs, that's the Falcon clan, the Hebog Luth? Okay. All right. So you want me to school your young fighters, huh? Okay. All right, I can do that. It's easy enough. All right, we're going to help the Falcon clan prepare for battle, and I am super confident that this is going to turn out well. All right. Right. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Kiriana. I should be okay. I think Gryfflet these quests are blue to Gryfflet. I think he should be able to manage all right.
I am not afraid of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm not afraid of you either. Okay, let's do this, huh? Yeah? Oh, you want a little some of this? I'll try that. Oh, but what would you think if I... That's it? Oh, come on. Hey, she was a wuss, Meyer. Seriously. That's what you're bragging about? I hit her like twice.
How will you handle one of our more experienced fighters, I wonder?
I don't know, but it better not be easier than that one. Okay. Let's go around. Hey, let's go find that ruin. Yes. Okay. So here we begin to see the ruins of the more ancient stronghold, which is clearly of Gondorian construction. so we can begin to see what's going on here. So this was probably a gate, though it may... I mean, I assume there must have been a gate here, though most of that part of the wall is missing, so it's a little hard to tell. And that is a snake. No, falcon? Falcon. Must be a falcon. Looks like a falcon totem. But boy, does that look like a cobra from down here. Doesn't even have a... It's because it has a blunt head. Doesn't it look like a snake? It totally looks like a snake. And what's up with the... See, it's not just me, right? That looks like the hood of a cobra, doesn't it? A lot more than it looks like a falcon, that's for sure. I guess it's supposed to represent the wings of the falcon? Okay, alright. It looks a little more beak-like from over here. Okay, now that I see it in complete profile. Okay, alright. Alright, fine. Looks a little more falconish. Still totally looked like a snake, though. Alright. It looks like a toad to you, Phil. Oh, gosh, that's even worse. The Toad Clan. Why isn't there a Toad Clan? You know, more Dunlending clans should take the toad as their totem. Totem. Get it? You see, that'd be good, right? Okay, all right. So we've built our little hutments in the middle of this here, and that's... Oh, look at that! A catwalk in between. That's fancy. All right, I'm looking for anything I can see on these ruins here. Any kind of indicators of anything more about who is here and why? Like the black and gold business on the Gondorian ruins. It's hard because the way it tarnishes makes it really hard to make make too much out of it. Okay, all right. Oh, I see we've built some little... Hey there, Lou Brennan. Yeah, whoa, that was a way too close of a view of your gut right there. What's it like in the north? Cold and dreary, I expect. Oh, look at this. Oh, so we're chatting up the locals, are we? Is this part of the infiltration plan? Is this where we building relations here? Okay. Okay, which one was the druid? Was the druid? Was the ranger who was chatting up the elf, like the elf women in Rivendell? Remember that? It was like the one who was like chatting up the two women down by the... It wasn't... No. I can't remember which one it was. Kungan. All right, Kungan. What are you thinking here?
What do you know of the hunt?
Well, what do I know of the hunt? First, you find the animals, and then you kill the animals, and then you bring them back. Is pretty much how it goes. Oh, wait, but you're telling me a story. You came to a clearing in the trees, and amid the brilliance of a noontime sun, that's pretty good, I beheld a mighty figure. He was many times the height of a normal man, and it seemed he wore a great antlered helm. Oh, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, we've met. I was beneath his notice. Oh, that's funny, because I'm shorter than you, and I wasn't beneath his notice. He turned to gaze between the trees, and even as I contemplated the great huntsman, he was gone. I never found that clearing again, though I sought it. I fashioned this charm in his shape out of wood, and every time I go on the hunt, I carry it with me. Oh, you're going to give it to me? That's very nice. Defeat creatures of Tal Methedras, and each one will add to the legacy of this charm. All right. Cool. So you want... All right. So you're not actually interested in... you're not actually interested in, like, any products from the hunt. You just want me to kill things, and it will somehow charge up the charm. Okay. But this is a very ruinous ruin. Well, I mean, look at that. Wow. They've really... I mean, I guess they must have quarried it for stone to make these ugly towers. Let me just say, that is not an upgrade. Not an upgrade. Okay, so is this an inner courtyard? Outer courtyard, inner courtyard? Or something? There's the door in the wall. Man, really hard to make much out. And what's your name? Sores. That is unfortunate. Do you hate your parents? Have you forgiven them for naming you Sores? What they name your siblings, right? Bruises, issues, pus? What? Seriously?
You think you can defeat me?
Oh, well. Okay. Do I think I can defeat... Oh, you're the next guy I'm supposed to defeat, Sores. That makes me feel bad for making fun of your name. They show me how a falcon fights. All right, I'm going to try not to further ridicule you. Oh, man, look at that. I didn't even... okay, yeah. I hope he's not, sore about it. Eladon. Hey, Eladon. What's up? Just you and me up here. Gryfflet and Eladon. Looking around. What are you seeing from over here, huh? Lots of ruins. Look at how ruinous the ruins are. I, too, was admiring that, Eladon. What was this, do you think, Eladon? Up here. This one last thing that we can see amongst the wreckage of all this. What is that? I mean, okay, so we have this, like, brass thing, right, with the black stuff on it, but I can't even make out what it... Not only can I not make out any clear images or anything, but I don't even know what it was. Is it a window? A door? A pillar? I don't even know. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. You hang out, Eladon. Make sure nobody gets up to anything dodgy. What is this? What is the point of view? So we can look out in between, which is cool, I guess. Alright, just to let the light through? We don't want it to be too shadowy over here? Or something? Okay. See, this was nice. What a nice view this would have been. If there wasn't that ugly Dunlending town in front of it. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? Gwenna, I apologize. You look nice. No? Gwenna. So you probably don't actually have a girl's name, right? But did you get teased about that a lot? Our bounders keep the peace? Do you have bounder dialogue? I explained to Gwenna how the safety of the Shire is ensured by the bounders who walk the bounders to keep the peace. Gwenna is not surprised to learn you joined the bounders and did quite a lot to keep the Shire safe. I can think of no ruffians to cause you trouble, he says. Gwenna, I think you've got the wrong dialogue, as I can't imagine that Gwenna of the Falcon clan has very much of an opinion about whether or not I'm an appropriate bounder. That's really funny. I never noticed that before. Okay. Alright, and then we've got... So we have the one ranger up the hill who's chatting up one of the local women, and you've got this guy who's enduring the boasts of this heavily painted fellow. Okay. Alright. Just looking. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's keep collecting quests and talking to people and seeing if anybody else has any opinion about whether I should be on the bounders or not. Yeah, Tony, it's possible that he just, that he's been to the Shire and has a strong opinion about these things. It's just a little hard to imagine. Olwen. Olwen? Your name is Olwen? Okay. Your name is Olwen. Okay, so that makes me a little uncomfortable. So do you have a boyfriend, Olwen, if it's not too personal a question? And is he named Kolhook? Because that would be Olwen's boyfriend's name. And is your dad named Isbathaden? And is he an evil giant? And does that suggest something sinister about the Falcon clan as well? But not that Isbathaden isn't like a really cool name, because it totally is. But okay, what's going on here? Oh, good. We got villagers, diminutive villagers. Am I taller than you? Holy cow, I am. Gryfflet has got this villager by an inch. She is just one short lady. Wow. Talk about vertically challenged. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, Maya, what's up with this?
Perhaps you do have things to teach us in the ways of combat.
Oh, you're listening? Do I get to fight you now, too?
There may be value in the martial training you can provide for us after all.
Okay. Yeah. You want me to challenge some of them? Good. Can I challenge somebody who can take more than 3 or 4 shots from me? Okay, wait. Fight only Mostun and Gainor. Kenneth has not been seen for some days. Okay. All right. Sure. I can do that. Let me go down over here, because there was a dude who needed, like, the leather maker dude. Oh, look, my friend Winfor. Hey there, Hey there, Tree Whisperer.
Someone has been sneaking around the far shore of the lake at night.
Really? Okay, you can't track the unwelcome guest. Oh, and also kill the Avon and bring their jaws. Okay. I'll track and I'll kill alligators. No problem. And then this... Are you... No, you're not the weather maker. Who are you? You are Mylona. Hi, Mylona.
You are the first halfling I have seen. What strange times we live in.
I know, but Gwynna up the hill, like, has strong opinions about the Bounders. So that's, you know, you should talk to him, I guess, more often. Okay. My appearance is most curious. Well, I understand, right? I am different from dwarves, it's true. If I were to share stories of my people and my homeland with the more distrustful members of your clan, they would be put at ease. Oh, you want me to share? You want me to talk to Gwynna? Oh, look at that. Gwynna of the many opinions about Bounders. Okay, I'll try to reassure him about the Bounders and everything. And Olwen as well. Okay, I've just met them. I know just where to find them. We'll do that. Okay, I will try to spread the word about hobbitry. Oh, who are you? Ah! Uh-oh, Gainor with your scary mask and your scary knife. Whoa, hang on. Okay. Just want to look at your mask. Is it made of metal or bone? Okay, no, it's made of metal. Plates of metal with the spikes along the top are kind of nice. Kind of. I mean, not very, but a little bit nice. And I kind of like how the painting on the mask sort of matches, but not quite, your tattoos, right? It's kind of cool, as if you're, or your paint in any case, as if your mask itself were sort of painted. That's cool. All right, Gunnar, let's go. Let's see what you're made of.
Yourself.
Bring it. Okay. All right, well, let's see. Oh, I think you're going to take several hits. That's really impressive. Oh, thank you. All right. No problem. Happy to help. Let's see. Down here is like the leather dude. Right? Yeah. Hey, Roos the Tanner. Yeah. Yeah, they make you stay down here because this stuff really reeks, doesn't it? Was that another ranger doing errands? Yeah. What are you carrying? Is that wood? No, it's a bundle of something. Weathers or, hides probably. Okay. Bundles of hides.
Tanning is a complex and lengthy process, but so is the business of war.
All right. I guess tanning and military pursuits do have that in common. Okay. Let's see. Right. You prepare much of this leather. You began to prepare it some days ago. All right. On the far side there are oxen on the far side of the lake. You need one skin from an ox. Fair enough. Okay. We're starting from scratch, right? Take a cow. Got it. We will work on that. All right. And Sekantur, I agree. That is an excellent point, and I cannot be upset about the fact that the Grey Company is actually rolling up its sleeves and doing some work here, right? As opposed to letting me do all the work. Though, Galadir, what are you up to, man? Everyone else is working hard. Are you hiding out here in the orchard? Are you playing hooky, Galadir? But you've been through a lot. I won't give you a hard time. I mean, come on. Who's going to make fun of Galadir? Right, who's over here? Taff. Oh, hey there, Taff. Sorry, I'm hiding in the bushes. I'm being sneaky. Ewan. Hey there. So we're... Okay. We're sitting. All right, we'll sit. Here we go. What's up?
The clans that have agreed to follow Saruman deserve no mercy.
No mercy. Let them fear the talons of the Falcon. Okay. Right? Toads! See, it's all about the toads. Toads frequent the far shore. Scrape some of the residue from their skin and bring it to me. Okay, good. Toad venom. Oh, that sounds good. All right. Okay, I'll go fetch some toad venom. I don't know if I've collected all 10 quests or not. A lot of these Dunlendings are just sitting around. Not criticizing, though. Are well. It's all good. There we go. Let me just check around down here. Just loop back around and make sure I didn't miss anybody in the lower town so I can do all these quests at once. Okay. Anybody else with any tasks for me? I want to make sure I'm doing an aha. Who's that? Oh, Mulstone, you want to fight? Okay, hang on. I'll dismount. Gryfflet, not quite ready for mounted combat yet. Though if he could, he would totally take you, Mulstone. Alright.
I doubt there is anything in the north we have not seen in Dunland.
Okay. Right. Let us see what I can teach you about combat. Yeah, sure. It's time. Alright, let's... Oh, you stunned me. Alright, that's kind of a little bit impressive. You did better than most of the other folks did. But I still don't like your chances overall. Hate to sound overconfident there, Milestone, but... It was very instructive. Oh, good. I'm glad we worked that out. Okay, isn't there a... Yes. Okay. Wenda. Alright, and, Idel. Are you the one I met in Galtrev?
It is my task to prepare food for the warriors.
Okay, oh, gotta go back to Galadir. Okay. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Most of our quests are done. Well, let's go to the local one here first. Okay. Alright. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. What are these? Oh, man, I gotta reforge? No worries. Alright. think I got them all now. Did I get them all? I think I did. Anybody up here? I don't think so. We're good? We're good? I'll just ride through here. I know it's a little shorter to go the other way. Hey, there's Halbarad carrying buckets. I'll just go this way to make sure I don't... It's Olwen! Yeah.
How do we know you are what you say you are?
Wait, hang on. How do you know I'm a hobbit? Do you need more evidence that I'm... I don't know, that's weird. What a strange question. I mean, I would think that you would see that I'm obviously manifestly different from you, and so would just, like, be seeking some explanation. What else do you think I am? You've not heard of hobbits. How do we know that I'm not in league with Saruman? Okay. I should tell her tales of the Shire. Great. Do I get narrative? Tell her I get narrative. What? Oh, come on! I wanted to tell her tales! Do we just have to, like, assume that tales have been told? Oh, man. Hey there, I think I beat everybody. Did that other dude come back? And need me to beat up on him, too?
Thank you for sparring with Mostyn and Gainor. Let Saruman tremble.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. How's your sword action here? Oh. Not really good. Okay. Oh, that's fine. I'll just take one of these. Thanks. Okay, so that was good. Let's go back over here. Okay. Let's go to the orchard then. Oh, wait, I gotta talk to Winnet. Yeah, I'll do that later, whatever. I can do that when I hand in one of my other quests to the Puntman guy. That's fine. Okay. Hey, Tony, that's just what I was thinking. I was going to tell her about the herb lore of the Shire. Who doesn't like a little herb lore of the Shire, right? What breaks the ice better than herb lore of the Shire? Okay, Golidir.
This is a curious land. Very different than I expected.
Okay. You expected Dunlendings to charge heedlessly to war, but these folk of the Falcon clan are taking great pains to prepare for battle. So you're saying you thought they were dumb, Golidir? It worries me that the other clans, the ones sworn to Saruman's service, are likely cut from the same cloth. Okay, we must not underestimate his allies. I agreed. Okay, oh, thank you. You've prepared baskets of apples. That was very thoughtful of you, Golidir. Thank you for your assistance. I will carry one of these carefully prepared baskets of apples and we'll run. Okay. As I am carrying apples, I shall attempt to answer a lore question. Zethwad, I got a whole big backlog here, so let's do this. Zach Coleman asked a really cool question last time, which is Mount Doom? Let's see if I can read this at the same time. Is Mount Doom controlled by Sauron on its, or is it its own mountain spirit like Caradhras working with Sauron? So is Mount Doom the slave of Sauron or his ally? Right? That's a really interesting question. Seems like it's controlled by Sauron when it comes to creating the storm for his armies, but there is that passage that says the mountains slept uneasily with a ring nearby that seems to suggest its own spirit. Really, really interesting question. Okay, so first background just to make sure that we understand this. It's very clear in Tolkien's writings that that there are spirits that are attached to places in geography, right? Caradhras is not a giant in the traditional sense, though he seems to play the role that the giants played in The Hobbit, the stone giants played in The Hobbit. But he's not a giant like them. He is a spirit of the land who is sort of native to Caradhras there, and bound to it, and has some power to control the local geography and weather.
Thank you for bringing me those apples. I will prepare them for travel.
No problem. Bring the empty basket back. Oh, and you want applewood branches to smoke the meat. Okay, no problem. Running back and forth. It's one of the services I offer. Okay. Carrying empty basket. We know that this is a thing. And one of the things that was for me, one of the coolest moments of our study of the Treason of Isengard in the Mythgard Academy class that we did in the end of last year, second part of last year, which you can find on YouTube if you want to read through the Treason of Isengard and listen along with our discussion of it. But anyway, one of the coolest passages there was a passage which really helped to explain a moment in The Lord of the Rings that I had never really fully understood, and that's when Legolas talks about the stones of Eregion, right? And how, he hears the stones remember them, and how and he says in The Lord of the Rings, the elves of this land were of a kind strange to us of the Sylvan folk. Which is, of course, true enough. They were Noldor, and he's one of the Sylvan elves, and so therefore, they were quite different. However, in the first draft of that passage, what he talks about is that he's talking about the spirits of that land are of a kind strange to us of the Sylvan realm. So, if they were in woodlands, Legolas, would probably be able to communicate with them.
You are back already?
Yeah. Need some wood. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, thanks, Galadir. Appreciate your help. Okay. There we go. Back we go. Just carrying big old branch with leaves still on it, huh? No problem. Looks cool. So anyway, so again, Legolas's clear implication is that he has a good relationship with woodland spirits, right? So spirits who dwell in woodland, he'd probably be able to communicate with them. Which also, keep in mind, makes his desire to visit Fangorn really interesting, right, in that way. But since the spirits of that land, of Eregion, are not woodland spirits, it's because it's a much more mountainous and stony land, he can't talk to them, so he can't give them much more information like he would in a woodland, because he'd be able to talk to the local spirits and be able to tell them stuff, right? So that's a really interesting thing, I think. We see Tolkien kind of downplaying that again in the way that he revised that passage. We don't get that same emphasis, but Caradhras still shows that same concept, that concept of there being spirits of particular places, is still in force in The Lord of the Rings. Goldberry, of course, is another example, or at least Goldberry's mom. And if you think about Goldberry's washing day and the rain which she seems to have caused.
Thank you for bringing me these branches. Their smoke will do nicely.
Okay, all right. Shall we smoke the meat? All right. Anyway, yeah, you can see how that seems to work. The rain of Goldberry's washing day is like the snow called down by Caradhras, right? It's another one of those instances of a spirit of a region being able to influence that region and even affect its weather. Okay.
I have many more preparations to make, but it is a start. I thank you for it.
No problem. Oh, and thanks for the pies. That's very kind. Okay. Whew. All right, so that's that one. Now we need to... Let's go and defeat some creatures down by the lake. We can take care of 4 or 5 of them, I think, down there. Okay. So anyway, back to Mount Doom then, Zach. Is Mount Doom another such example? Is there a spirit, is there a fiery spirit that dwells within Mount Doom? And if so, what is its relationship with Sauron? Well, first of all, it's hard to see just from a purely sort of character-driven basis, right? It seems hard to imagine that Sauron would make a friend when he could make a slave instead. So my default kind of assumption is that probably he would have, if there is a separate spirit in Mount Doom, and he is trying to, and he's, you know, working with it, you'd think he would have tried to enslave it. Oh, did not. Oh, I did get a tough ox skin. Great. Okay. All right, and that counted as a beast killed, but I need to kill a bunch of Avonk and some toads anyway, so why don't I just go up to the alligator and toad section. Okay. Aha, here we go. So, I mean, all right. So on the one hand, there's not very clear evidence. We don't get any passages that really, you know, look or sound just like the passages with Carathras, which speak of Mount Doom with, you know, as if it had that kind of independence. It may, you know, as a spirit, it might do, but again, we can't really be sure of it. So I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm a little bit reluctant to kind of commit on that one, because again, it's very difficult to be sure. Like I said, if there were a spirit and Sauron were working with it, I have to imagine that he would have wanted to enslave it rather than merely to, you know, to ally himself with it. But, you know, that's just kind of a general assumption based on his character and his overall MO. One thing that I have a really hard time with is imagining, I mean, the Mount Doom is called, you know, they're called the Forges of His Might. When Frodo gets to the Samoth Naur, you know, when he gets to the Cracks of Doom, he is, when he gets to the Cracks of Doom, we're told that he is nearing the center of Sauron's ancient power, right? It's not the power, it's not somebody else's power, right? It's Sauron's power that is itself concentrated there, and which he used, you know, so he used that place as his forge. Okay, good. I got enough Avonk jaws. There are the toads. So yeah, I think this is these two things. A, the fact that Mount Doom, I don't recall Mount Doom ever being spoken of in the same kinds of terms that Carathras is. That is in the way of having a separate, independent kind of consciousness and spirit in the way that he clearly speaks of Carathras. And so since we don't see that, I never really kind of thought of it that way, and I can't be sure. But of course, it's really tempting. I mean, it's easy to imagine that Carathras would have a spirit of fire dwelling within it. That is sort of the Middle-earth explanation of volcanoes, right? It's not just a sort of an accident of geology that Mount Doom is like that, right? It would be much more sort of deliberate than that. And that seems to me to fit. So as I said, I really like the idea. I can't think that Mount Doom is a free agent. As if, what? Like, as if it could turn against Sauron or fail to, you know, obey him or whatever. That doesn't seem to me plausible at all, given the way that it's talked about. Okay, someone not wearing shoes. Okay, right. So I'm supposed to... Okay, find another set. All right, they're going this way. So let's sneak around and look for more footprints. But anyway, yeah, I think that that's a really interesting question for... which there's no really clear answer to. I will be interested. I don't remember. I'll be interested because I haven't read it in a while. But I will be interested to see when we get there. We're starting War of the Ring, the next volume in the history of the Lord of the Rings series. We're starting that in about a week and a half on Valentine's Day, actually, on the 14th. Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll be interested to see when we get down into the more detailed descriptions and narrative of Mount Doom in the later part of the story, if there's any indicators of that. So, Zach, I'll kind of get back to you, depending on what we see there. I hope you'll be able to join us for that discussion. That'd be cool. Yeah. Okay. Is that it? Did I do all the things? I followed the footprints? Hang on, let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Right. We killed animals. Gotta talk to Gwyna. I got an ox skin. I got the toad residue. And I found the unwelcome guest. Okay. Good. Alright, I guess we're done. Let's take the boat. I'm pretty sure I saw a ferry boat over here, which would be handy just about now. One of my favorite things in Lotro is reflections of mountains in the water. I just love it. Just love it. Hey, so Red, are you asking me how well I know burglars? Oh man, I am such a pro. Holy cow. Not at all. Actually, I'm really bad. I mostly play a burglar like a guardian who can sneak around sometimes. That's kind of, honestly, my fault here. Okay. Though I have tried both Red and Blue Line, and I'm a fan of Red Line, but I suspect that I didn't really fully understand what Blue Line was about. So I can't promise that my decision was a fully educated one. But soloing, I have found Red Line to be really effective. Okay. So another lore question. Sure, Ethelwad. Ethelwad is very hungry for lore questions today, or lore answers, I suppose, is what you really want. Let me hand in some quests here.
Toad residue?
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
He sticks out his tongue and licks the residue. Seriously, don't lick the poison. What kind of a moron are you? Okay, and now you need somebody to help cure you. What a maroon. Okay. As Bugs Bunny would say. Okay, fine. I'll go talk to the healer. Yeah. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, and Mr. Tanner, I got you some ox skins here.
This ox I will serve.
Okay. Bruce points to the buckets of sudsy water. Okay. Their strips are soaking. Dunk them thoroughly and comb out any of the grime that still remains. Okay. Alright, I better dismount for this one. This is even more glamorous than the work I used to do as a paralegal up in Evendim. Okay, we're sudsing strips of leather. Oh, gotta do it 3 times. Okay, there we go. And again. Okay. Did I comb it effectively?
The leather strips have been cleaned?
Yep, no problem. Okay. Beat the hides. Okay. I shall pummel the hides. Pummel away, Gryfflet. Boom. Pummel. Smack. Alright, I'm going to pummel this one too. Bam. Take that. Okay. And this one. Excellent. And, oh, this one over here. And we'll be good. This is gripping work right here. I know. Isn't this heroic, Sekantor? I think this is heroic. Okay. Whew. All right. Roos.
Staff should be just about ready for these ox skins. Bring them to him.
Bring them to Toph in the weatherworking pavilion. Right, Toph. I remember him. Okay. No problem. Wait, I don't have to carry anything, do I? No. No, all right, I'll just ride. Great. Hey, that's not even very far. There he is right over there. Boy, they exiled him even further outside of town. No, why don't you set up your workshop in this gazebo down by the lake? I mean, it's lovely. He's got the best view in town, I think. Even unmarred by ugly towers. Hey there, Toph.
You have helped Roos with the tanning?
Maybe it was a condition of employment, right? I will consent to do your weather working if I can work in a gazebo by the lake. That's how I prefer to think about it. Okay. Yep. I've been helping, and I've helped him with the various stages of preparing weather. Yes, I did. Okay. Right. It's only fitting that I help you. Right. Oh, hang on. I gotta pick a cloak. It doesn't matter. They all kind of are not as good as the one I'm wearing.
I need more dye if this armor is to bear the mark of the Falcon.
You need more dye, huh? Okay. Oh, collect plants. Fine. Collect plants. Okay. I'll do that, but first let me go hand in some of these other quests. Okay. All right. Who's up here? Hey, Mylana. Yes, I talked to Kulhook.
Ewan is a fool and always
Oh,
has been.
you're the healer.
Never taste the poison you make.
Never taste the poison, I know, right? It's like keep the powder dry. Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't taste the poison you're making. Okay. All right. Okay. And, oh, okay. I can turn in... which one was he? Oh, right. He was the unwelcome guest, dude.
That was fast. Did you find any sign of the intruder?
I did. Sounds like women's feet. Some woman is creeping around in the dark. Uh-oh. Wait, I know a woman who creeps around in the dark. Maybe she is one of ours. Oh, dear. This is getting unfortunate.
I'll take this string and stretch it here and here.
Okay. Oh, we're making traps. Great. Okay, I will set the traps, and then I'll apologize afterwards. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we need? I think we're good up here. I think I need to come around and... Oh, yeah, the huntsman dude. I gotta talk to him. All right. Let's see. Sorry, just checking my lore questions here. Okay. Wow, Tony, I saw you guys were discussing this a little bit too, about the Ainur and the War of Wrath. That's a big one. We only have like 15 minutes left. I'm not sure I have time for that one. Ethelwad, I'll answer yours about Sheila after I talk to Gunga Din here.
I would not want to lose this, I will tell you that.
Okay. Did I feel the wild huntsman with me? Absolutely. Boy, without the assistance of the wild huntsman, I could never have slain those toads. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. So I've got pocket items that I can't use because I'm equipping a stone of the tortoise. No problem here. Let's see. Which ones do I want? Agility and vitality. That sounds right. Okay. Let's talk to Gwynna about hobbits while we're up here. Okay, we're 60% through. We're so close. I want to see if I can finish all the tasks here.
You're a halfling?
Yeah.
Why are you so small?
Because I'm a halfling. Didn't you answer your own question? I decided to diffuse his embarrassment with tales of the Shire. Let me tell you the story of Flower Dumpling, the mayor. You want to talk about embarrassment? I'll tell you an embarrassing story. Okay. Well, that was good. Okay. And I think... So whose quests do I still need to finish? I gotta bring this back to the poison guy. Okay, and I've gotta go back and set traps for somebody who may or may not be Nona. And then I've got to... What do I still need to do? What am I still missing? That's only 3. That'll give me 9 out of 10. Okay, but Ethelod, your question is about Sheila. And would Sheila be affected by the Ring of Power? So, like, could Sheila in any way put on the Ring of Power, and would she be affected? Gollum doesn't think so.
Oh, I feel terrible. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, yeah. A very effective poison you're brewing, moron. Okay. Coating the weapons of the Falcon clan with this toad residue will cause our enemies some real distress. Okay, well, that's if it does the same thing when introduced directly into the bloodstream, but whatever. Okay, oh, hang on. Morale potions tier. Okay, sure. Why not? All right. Hey, look at that. 7 out of 10. No, I got them all there. But I don't think concerned by hobbits counts as one. Who am I missing? Yeah, Phil, Sheila is in exactly female spider. Yes. Lob is just from one of the Anglo-Saxon words for spider. So Sheila just means female spider. And Tolkien, there's a letter from Tolkien to Christopher when Christopher was away in the war, in which he says, he's like, it's really simple, but when you put it together, he says, I think it sounds noisome, don't you? Yes.
Thank you for showing them that halflings are not to be feared.
Okay. Hey, yeah, no problem. The first... Oh, Penrod wants to speak to me. Really? Okay. I'm not quite done with all my chores yet, but I'm getting close. Yeah, Tony Gollum might be considered an expert. So keep this in mind. When it comes to Sheila and the Ring of Power, Gollum does believe that his lust is not her lust, right? He desires the ring for himself. She, he believes, is not going to desire the ring for herself. She just desires a glut of life, right? She wants to eat living things until she is swollen so that the mountains can no longer hold her. That is Sheila's goal and her hunger and her desire.
Sounds like yours was a good home. My people had a good home once.
Oh. Okay. Perhaps one day you'll have it again, but not as thralls. Oh boy, that's tough. On use? Plus 20 might and 1 hope? What is this, a pocket thing? What is this?
Speak with your friends and see how they progress with their tasks.
Okay. Alright. Might have to do that one next time. Now hang on a second here. Oh, I got so much stuff. So, on use. Oh, it's permanent, I guess, or something. I don't know. Okay. No problem. No? Is this it? Oh, for an hour. That's it. Just once, huh? Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it then. So what do I need to do now? I need to find a suitable place. Alright, I gotta set up traps. I need to find lakeside plants. Okay. Alright. Hey, Halberd, since you're here.
My arms ache. Not so badly that I must stop.
Alright, Halberd, stop complaining. That's good. We have few enough allies in this land. Yeah, I agree. It's worth it if we can recruit allies. Okay. Strong work there, Halberd. Alright. Radnir, I saw doing cleanup duty up top there. Bragier, I'm not quite sure where he is, but I'll find him. Alright, I need to get the plants by the lake for Mr. Leatherworking Dude. But anyway, so Ethelwald, back to Sheila now. Gollum is convinced that Sheila would not be at all interested in the ring. She would be interested in eating Frodo and Sam and absorbing their life, but she's not going to be at all interested in the ring. That seems likely to be true. And I think in any case, there's no question of Sheila being able to wield the Ring of Power. And I don't think it's just a physical thing. It's not just a question of like, she doesn't have the correct appendages to be able to equip the Ring of Power, right? Such that we need to be imagining like what would happen if like she put a claw or or her stinger or something through the ring. The issue is not a physical limitation; it would be a spiritual limitation. Is her will the kind of will? Is she the kind of creature who would be able to wield the Ring of Power? And it seems, again, Gollum doesn't think so. I do tend to agree with Tony that I would tend to trust Gollum on this, in that if she had any like true or secret desire for the ring for herself, he'd probably sniff that out, right? I mean, he would be one of the first to figure that. So I tend to trust him on this. Also, oh, really? Anywhere? Here? Just set him? Okay. Let me get out of the way of that Evonk. Okay. Let's do it again. Great. Maybe I'll trap more Evonk. Excellent. Just gonna go up to this boat again. Anyway, yeah, like I say, it's not... think of the precedents. Sheila is the daughter of Ungoliant. What would Ungoliant have done with the Ring of Power? Sekantor has just been... jump in the boat, sorry. Sekantor has just been answering that, right? She would have eaten it. Ungoliant would totally have eaten the Ring of Power. And therefore, and by doing that, absorbed its power to herself. Does Sheila have that power? It seems likely she does not have that power. Again, the narrator talks about the glut of life. so that it is the life of others that she can absorb. And this seems to be a fairly typical kind of thing, right? That Sheila, as the descendant of Unga, she is not Ungoliant, right? So she cannot eat light. She cannot absorb light. There is a memory of it, right? The webs of Sheila are very shadowy, but they're not unlight. They're not darkness spun and made tangible in the way that Ungoliant can. The way that Ungoliant did, and the way that Ungoliant's webs were. Okay, we're making dyes. That's fine. So it seems likely that, if we think about it in those terms, right? Just as Sheila can spin dark webs, but they're not webs of darkness, they're not webs of unlight in the same way that Ungoliant's webs were, so she can absorb and draw power from other things, but not in the same way that Ungoliant did, right? She can't eat light. She can't eat sort of pure power in itself. It's the life energy of things that she is able to absorb. So I suspect that she would not be able to do anything with the ring, and therefore might not be interested in it. And Gollum might have turned out to be correct, that she would have tossed it aside, or just left it, and he would have claimed, and he could have claimed it.
Yeah, this is just the right shape for our purposes.
Draw the mark of the Falcon clan. Ooh, does this mean I have a chance to design a somewhat more attractive symbol for the Falcon? Let's see. So Gryfflet, do a nice head. No, see that? First of all, it looks like a vulture claw, okay? And all right, made your ugly insignia on the armor. Marred a perfectly attractive suit of armor with your ugly insignia.
That sign will drive fear into any of the other clans that try to fight us.
Well, distaste in any case. Hey, even dim blue. That's one of my favorite colors. Black. Nah, I'll take even dim blue. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, that's 8 out of 10. I still took a win for, and whoops, it's almost carpool time. So, yeah, so Ethelwald, that's my answer to the Sheila question. I do not think, so had she put a claw or stinger through it, would she have become invisible? I do not believe so. I don't think that it would work on her in the same way. There's just, I don't see any real reason to suspect it. But here's another little connection that's kind of interesting, right? The Watcher in the Water. The Watcher in the Water, also, remember there's that passage where the narrator several of them are thinking it chose Frodo first, right? Of all the company, it reached out and grabbed Frodo. Why would it do that? Maybe it
set the traps?
Maybe it desired the ring
anyone sneaking around.
in some sense. Maybe there is a way in which it desired the ring to try to absorb it, to try to eat it. Maybe there's just some kind of mark on Frodo because of his his holding of the ring, or even as a result of his wound, right? That it kind of sensed something different about Frodo and singled him out. I'm not really sure, but yeah. Okay. Oh, there's Rodnir. How's cleanup duty going?
I've seen more manure already in Dunland than I have in my entire life in the north.
Rodnir is not happy. Give me a campfire and a room to sit next to it. I understand. You don't like these men, huh? Okay, I get it. They stand by beautiful views but obscure it with unnecessary trees. Where's Braegar? Oh, over by the tanner. All the way on the other side. Okay. Ooh, can I safe fall on horseback? I didn't know if I could do that or not. Okay, let's see. Where's Bregar? There he is. Chopping wood.
I've been assisting Root.
Yeah, Rodnir's not happy.
It's dirty, odious work.
Okay, now I'm supposed to talk to Penrod. So, is this going to be number 10? Is Gryfflet done with his chores? I'm going to try that, safe falling from horseback next time. I don't even know why that never even occurred to me, but... Okay. Now, I do have to go in just a minute here. I'm a little bit late, but I should be all right. 2 quick announcements. First of all, for those of you who we were talking about it a little bit before the stream began here, but April 28th, London Moot. For those of you who can make it, we are having a Mythgard regional gathering over there at in London. Go to londonmoot.com and you'll be able to get all the details about our conference. It's a very inexpensive one-day conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there and I'm going to give a talk. John Garth is going to be there and give a talk. If you've never heard John Garth talk about Tolkien, oh my goodness, what a treat you're in for. We're going to have a Harry Potter talk. It's going to be great. So it's going to be a really, really wonderful day. I hope you're able to come and make if you're especially if you're over there in Europe at all, or if you have been looking for a really good excuse to go and visit, then please do join us. My other announcement is something coming up sooner. February 17th, Saturday, February 17th, so that is 2 weeks from tomorrow. I am going to be doing my fried chicken run. I'm going to be doing a chicken run from Delving all the way to Mount Doom and casting myself into the cracks of Doom. That will be at 11 a.m. You can join me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/signumu. I'll be broadcasting that live. There should be plenty of room for people to participate if you want to run with me as a chicken, or if you would like to come and be an escort and protector for part or all of the way from Delving to Mordor. You would be welcome to join us as well. So make sure to mark those dates on your calendar. So. Thanks very much, everybody. I appreciate your joining me. Well, hang on a second. Let me just talk to Penrod here. Okay, all right. Yep. Rangers put to work. They're doing a great job.
Your help and theirs.
Yeah, laughing at Rodnir. It's hilarious, isn't it? Yes! Okay, finished my chores. Strong work today, Gryfflet. You did all the chores, and now... next week you can talk to Penrod and continue things from there. So very good. Thanks everybody for joining me. I will be back next week. See you guys next week. I'll be here the next 2 Fridays, and then the 2 Fridays, the last 2 Fridays of February, the 23rd, and yeah, the last one, the 23rd, and then the one after that, the first Friday in March. I'll be gone both of those 2 Fridays, but I'll be here both of the next 2 until then. So thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.